What's up, YouTubers? In this video, we're going over our oil pressure install because we still haven't gone over that. A whole bunch of other stuff you can look into here. I'll kind of just throw it at you real fast. We're getting ready to go out for a ride. We got a big old snowstorm here the past 2 days. Dumped like probably about 8 inches on the ground, or so, about 30 centimeters maybe, somewhere around there. This is gonna be our first fire up. We figured it out. There's really no problem with our exhaust glowing red. There's a whole lot of nothing going on. So we're just gonna go, we're gonna tune it, and we're gonna let her buck, and we'll take you guys along for the ride, all right? So continue watching. Okay, we're getting down to the final nitty gritty install here of our oil pressure gauge. And up in there has been an adapter installed into the side of the block, I'm sure, some type, to adapt for a banjo fitting. So we've collected a bunch. We don't really know which one it is. So this is going to be a little bit of an adventure here. We're going to pop this off and try and lose as little oil as possible while we experiment which banjo bolt will fit in there. So watch this catastrophe possibly go down. Alright, so there's our multiple banjo bolt replacements. See the original one there. And then what we need is the dual outlet. So we've got a line that works for this guy right here. And hopefully that's the one that fits. So we'll watch and see. So we're dealing with a thread issue here. That's the bolt that we need to fit the banjo bolt dual outlet, and that's the original there. And if you can kind of see, the original looks like it has some mashed threads, or at least they were crammed in on the wrong thread pitch. So not too sure what to make of that. The one we need to fit doesn't want to fit, so that's unfortunate. We do have 2 other options, and they do seem to be other different sizes, but we have the line made for that one there, and it's definitely not wanting to. Alright guys, as you saw, that was a headache. We ended up having to grinder, cut the bolt, and hope the thread still worked because it was too long. The threads weren't right, although everywhere on the internet says that test port's 3/8 24. It seems like it was more 1/8 MPT, or the guy who installed the turbo kit before us crammed at least something 1/8 MPT into there, being that the fitting would have been steel and the block aluminum. It cut its own threads, and well, we had to deal with that. So hopefully that headache doesn't leak. We're gonna fill it with oil here once we got our gauge hooked up, and we will find out shortly. So stay tuned guys and see what happens. She needs some lube in there, bud.
That doesn't work. In my fucking drilling experience, if we put any oil on there, it'll do nothing. It's already doing nothing though. Come on, you fuck. Smaller hole, I guess.
Alright guys, you can see here we're trying to relocate our oxygen sensor. Maybe try and get a different reading out of it, because right here we think it may be getting super cooled by the turbo and not picking up a proper reading, and that's why it goes full lean right away, or slowly creeps there as it cools off. So We're gonna try and relocate it into our exhaust here. We're having a hell of a time drilling some stainless, and just chewing up our drill bits real good here. It's hard to see that, but it's not having it, guys. So we'll let you know. You stay tuned here and see if this oxygen sensor relocate works at all. Alright, YouTubers, on our investigation here, we have discovered a few items. One of them being that the intake boot, which is way back in there somewhere, way back in there, on the bottom side, under this nonsense, was loose. So we tightened that up. We've also found a giant crack right there, running all the way around, right where we're sticking our wideband sensor. So these could possibly be leading to some of our lean readings. We're fixing them right now, and we'll let you know what happened. Big day has come. It's finally here. We waited about 2 weeks, but take a look at that, guys. Got the DynoJet Power Commander in. So out of the box, you get the nice little tuning module there. That's your ECU. You get some stickers. Looks like you get a posi tap for some wires. Giving you some Velcro and some rubber isolation mounts here. A couple more stickers, a warranty card, you know. We've got a map sensor and the tuning wire yet too. So if you didn't know, this is the PTI version. So that's built for turbos. It comes with the map sensor. It relates boost back to a whole bunch of other things to make sure that your engine's running safe and it's getting the fuel that it needs at the right time. So stay tuned, guys. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the garage. Today is a wonderful day. I am ecstatic right now because we, don't mind the train, it's loud, I know. We figured this shit out, finally. So, looks like our air fuel gauge or our sensor was just bad because, check that out. All wired in there, running nice and rich. So we got to install that. Shout out to AEM for the AEM gauge. They didn't hook us up or nothing. We bought that outright. But it works wonderful. So we're going to take this junk altimeter out, which we thought was junk because we pulled out of our Civic anyway. So yeah, stay tuned for some rippage and tunage and some fun times, boys. All right. We have the AEM sensor, the new Bosch 4.9 LSU installed, and the cable run and the interior put back together, and we're going to get ready to go for our first drive and do a little bit of tuning here. What we're actually going to do first is probably put it back to stock, and we'll show you guys maybe how much we might have been hurting it. We're kind of curious ourselves to see how much we've been hurting it, or if we've been hurting it at all, right? So yeah, watch this ride, see if we actually heard it, and maybe watch the adjustments to see how good we get it running. All right, there we are. We're running. That's factory tune, as you see there. Factory idle. So at idle, we were never really hurting it. It was pretty happy. Alright, stay tuned, guys.
Vice grips on the exhaust right now.
Oh yeah. So far, no scary signs. Oh yeah, it's running like shit. Yeah.
Does this change the air fuel? Watch it.
Yeah, a little bit. Like 0.1, 0.1, 0.2. It's running like a bag of shit because it's still not a factory tune, right?
No?
Well, it's a DynoJet factory tune because, you know, we're running DynoJet factory. If you want it to be all factory, I can, like, make no adjustment on this. We can do that. Starts to lean out a little bit after 3/4 throttle for sure. This is what we're dealing with, guys. That exhaust is glowing red. She's about to melt down. And look at her. Look at that. That's ridiculous. I got it. So basically for our tuning here, we're just going to watch the air-fuel ratio. We're going to let it warm up, get to about operating temperature, so we know we're tuning at the right temperature where the engine's going to be running at most of this time. We'll get into the startup tuning a little later. Right now we just want it to run well while it's idling and while it's running, and we want to make sure we're not running out of fuel, running our injectors to their max duty, stuff like that. So yeah, I'll kind of explain what's going on as we go through this. You can kind of see here, this is our base ignition map. We're all zeroed. And we've got our base fuel pressure map here where we're all zeroed. So we're running factory right now, or what's supposed to be factory. with that rich of an air-fuel ratio, I believe it may have a little bit of a chip or tune on the ECU already, but we can fix that with this. There's no issue there. No issue. In fact, we'll start making a couple adjustments here. Take this section it's idling in here and we'll take out some fuel. So you can see I've gone minus 10% fuel there, and I've gone minus 10% fuel there. We were at an air fuel ratio of about 12 to 3. I've brought it up to about 13 to 5, 13 to 6. You can kind of see there. So that's a much happier idle air fuel ratio. So one of our next steps is going to be slowly to just apply throttle and bring the RPM up in the idle range here, in the zero load range, and we'll see how much fuel can come out of it, or maybe has to go into it. So also what we're doing right now is we're removing the silencer, because we just want to be sure we're tuning on max exhaust flow here. So when the silencer does get put back in, it should only affect the tune in a way that it becomes more rich and not lean. Who wants to give me a hand?
What?
Who wants to give me a hand?
Yeah, what do you want?
Go hold it at like 3,500 RPM.
At 35?
Like 3,000, somewhere in there.
Where's the RPM on this one?
I won't tell you. Yeah, hold it right there.
You're spraying all your slush over his laptop. I was like, get back in front of him. Get back in front of him. Hopefully he doesn't think I'm trying to race, but you did, but I kicked your ass, so it was alright.
Yeah.
Did it feel like it was pulling real hard there?
Well, it doesn't have much traction right now, but yeah. She turns on, she turns on. Not like you're just driving, even at 3 pounds, it's not much, 3 or 4, and then at about 4, it turns on, and it just goes from 4 to 8. Fucking
That little snail power.
I've never really railed it off the line or anything.
Once you get it done, I guess you're gonna just... Sorry, baby. Go back a little bit.
Alright guys, we just got back from a ride. We took the RZR out on a snowy evening, and we tried to do a little bit of tuning. As you can see, the map is a little bit built here from taking fuel out at idle, working our way up through the boost, and when we get to try and add about 30% fuel there for 7% boost, or 7 psi boost, and above 7,500 RPM, we run out of injector. We run at about 100% duty cycle, and she runs 13.8. She runs lean. So we need some injectors. Other than that, stay tuned and wait for us to get some injectors and go rip the shit out of this thing.